So good afternoon. Can I welcome everybody to this meeting of Cabinet Member for Housing Decision Day taking place from the Wharton Suite, Winchester Guildhall. The time is 2:30 p.m. My name is Councillor Chris Westwood, Chairperson and Cabinet Member for Housing. This meeting is being live streamed and recorded to the Council's YouTube channel. Subtitles are available and advice on how to turn this on is set out on our website. Please can everyone ensure mobile phones are on silent and switched off entirely. In the unlikely event that it's necessary to evacuate the building, the fire alarm will sound. Please follow all instructions given to you by a team. Please can I welcome visiting councillors to the meeting. I'll invite you forward when it's time for you to make your contribution. Turning to the agenda, public participation. There is no public participation. And visiting councillors, I see none. And so item 4, designated protected area status, paper DD 84. Have no public participation, but Councillor Horrell, you would like to speak on this item. Can I just ask Mrs. Egan if you'd like to do any short introduction to this paper in a sentence before Councillor Horrell speaks?
Yes, I'd be happy to.
Very short introduction would be advantageous.
Yes,
thank you.
No problem. This relates to a scheme called the Lakes in Swanmore, which has an element of Section 106 affordable housing. In addition to that, there have been 4 shared ownership units that Homes England have funded outside of the Section 106, and this DPA relates to a waiver for those 4 so that staircasing up to 100% is allowable.
That's great, thank you. Councillor Horrell, would you like to join us? And you have the usual 5-minute slot.
Thank you, Chair. And this is clearly a matter for the local councillors, not for those of us from another ward. So I wouldn't dream of commenting on their recommendation. However, it raised in my mind a question, not necessarily for this particular location, but more broadly about staircasing, and that we do have restrictions on some of our properties elsewhere. And although this is obviously in relation to a new development, there are areas, properties where people find that very difficult to obviously accommodate those rules. And also, as you've indicated, the access to mortgages is difficult. And I just wondered whether there was a piece of work that we as a council should do just to look at, are there properties in our portfolio where we have restrictions, and indeed can we do anything about those retrospectively? Mr. Hendy knows that in one of our villages we looked at the profile of properties, and we have some where they can't staircase, and because of the different tenures within a small community, there is sort of a general dissatisfaction. It doesn't help residents to live harmoniously. They don't quite realise why those rules apply to those different tenures. So it prompted me not just on this, as I say, I wouldn't dream of commenting on another ward's matter, but the broader issue of staircasing and shared ownership, and whether there's anything we should be doing to just see in the current situation whether there's a step we should be taking. So perhaps something to take away, Chair, for another moment for discussion. Just to add to the huge to-do list for the housing team, but actually I know would be hugely appreciated by some residents. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Horrell. So just to ask my housing colleagues either side of me, I don't know the exact number of shared ownership homes that we have with restrictions in staircasing. Is this something that we could look at and provide a response at some stage?
Chair, this morning you heard mention of developing a rural housing development strategy, and perhaps that's something, that issue, we could pick up as part of that strategy.
Okay, good suggestion. So can we just
that would be really excellent. Thank you so much.
Okay, so Mr. Hendy, can I leave it in your hands to take that back into the organisation to take place. Thank you. In terms of the paper before us, I just want a little bit of clarification on the numbers. So the paper says that I understand the rationale for removing the staircasing, because we've got shared ownership houses on the development which are Section 106 shared ownership houses which have no restriction on staircasing. And we have Homes England grant on 4 properties, shared ownership, that would have restrictions potentially next door to each other, and it would make little sense for there to be some properties with restrictions and some without. And I understand the implications for being able to get mortgages, for the level of deposit that is required on the different with the different factors on each of the houses. Can I just clarify on the number of 4 homes? Is this 4 additional homes that will be shared ownership with Homes England grant, as opposed to, if it's not, if we don't go forwards with the decision, it would be 4 market rent or market cost homes?
So they will be shared ownership homes. They are in addition to the Section 106 that have been consented as part of the planning. If we don't seek the waiver, then, as you say, those 4 would sit in a different situation to the shared ownership that have come through the planning. So this, by applying for the waiver, and if it is granted by Homes England, it would bring them all into the same ability to 100% staircase. But yes, they were originally going to be market houses, and these will be additional shared ownership houses.
Okay, that answers my question. Thank you very much. I have no other questions on this paper. I read it, as you can hear, I've spoken about it, so I've understood it. And therefore I'll move to my decision. And my decision is as per the recommendations, which is the service lead, new homes delivery, be authorised to apply to Homes England for the lifting of the designated protected area status in respect of 4 homes at the Lakes in Swanwell. Thank you very much. And I think that concludes the meeting.